what steps can we take to create job security in the long run? And I think this is a timely conversation, especially when companies are looking, I've got to reduce my workforce by a certain amount because the numbers tell me, despite how I
Mhm.
feel, and I don't like or dislike anyone, I've been told to cut 10% or
Yeah.
20% or whatever that number is from up above, or just sales revenue has told me I'm going to cut people because I can't afford more people. How do I assure that I'm not on that list that's going to be cut? What steps can I take?
Well, I think that making sure first is that you're performing the best that you can, and you want to be as indispensable to your employer as possible. And so, making sure that you, again, as I said, I mean, it's almost like a broken record, making sure your skills are up to date, that you are able to do the job that you're in, and even better, some other jobs. So, I would say, the next job up, perhaps. But I would say make sure to just expand, learn new skills that maybe aren't required by your job but could be useful. And a lot of people, I hear this too, they'll say all of my connections are at one company because I've been in that company for 15 years, or all of my connections are in one industry because I've worked in that industry my whole career. I want you to break out of that and just start making connections with people that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily, right? So if you're interested in the healthcare industry, start making connections there. If the work that you do maybe could be transferable there. So in the long run, branch outside of that comfort zone of your company or the industry that you're in, even if you're not sure if you're ever going to work in that industry or for that other company. I think it's good to just cast a wide net and just be open-minded when we think about job opportunities or who we want to connect with in our network or what skills we should obtain. It's a continual process. We always want to be working on our professional development. So it's really kind of this, honestly, the same things that we talked about before. Always expanding your skill set as best you can, staying up to date with technology, continuously building and nurturing relationships, performing the best you can in your job, but then also keeping one eye open for other opportunities. All of those things. It's really kind of the sum of the parts, right? We want to try to do all of those things as best we can. And that will all equate into being more employable and having better career prospects in the long run.
Yeah, for those in the supply chain career field, don't forget you work with vendors day in and day out. Those are other companies that may have opportunities for you that your current
Absolutely.
company, when they go there, to reach out to them. And something else I thought about is be that go-to person, the person who's willing to stay late, come in early, do the extra things, learn the extra skills, put in that time, invest in the company, and they'll invest back in you. Because I've found in my experience and wisdom is that professionals are professionals are professionals. The people that get the job done always get the job done, and other professionals can recognize those professionals.
Mhm.
Where we know what we look like, and we know that if I reach out to somebody who's a go-to person, a star player, they can do that job. If they'll do what needs to get done, they've committed to
Yes.
the company, they've committed to the mission, they see the vision and where it needs to go, and they're part of that and are willing to invest to be part of that, stay part of that. So I guess I would say two messages there. One, be the go-to person, or if you're not the go-to person, if you're the one clocking in at 8 a.m. right on the dot and clocking out at 5 p.m. right on the dot, you're demonstrating that you are there for a job. And so long as you do that job, they're going to keep you. And when they go to reduce, they're going to look for people who are here for a career.
Yeah.
And those career members show up a little early and they stay a little bit late. They are there to make things happen. Do you see that with your clients? Does that kind of start to, because it sounds like the clients that work with you are professionals. They're the
Mhm.
ones that are investing in their career. They're taking the
Mhm.
extra step to maintain and find opportunities before they need them. What are some, how do you see that personality, the professional, we would call them?
Oh, absolutely. Typically, the kind of person who's going to come and hire a coach is usually pretty proactive and usually is willing to make an investment in themselves and their career and cares very much about their career prospects. I do sometimes see people who are a bit reactive. Maybe they've been unemployed for a while and they wanted to try it on their own and it didn't work. And now they're in a panic. And they're like, I need a resume immediately and all these things. We do to get those, and we're happy to help those people. The people who are most successful, though, are the ones who come to us while I'm still employed. And I hear it a lot. They'll say, but I feel like the writing is on the wall. The company's going through changes. We've had some leadership changes. I don't know what's going to happen. I hear that a lot more. So yes, and when I always want to reward that and say, good for you for being proactive. Now is the time. Because here's one other little tidbit that people forget about, right? It's so much easier to update your resume with specific facts, metrics, quantifiable achievements when you're still in that job. And why is that? Because you still have access to that information. You still have access to the systems and all the programs that you use that have a lot of information about the company and the things that you've been working on. It is always smart to continuously update your resume while you're at that job. Document that achievement, because you're going to forget about it. And then you're going to go, well, how much did I increase profitability by? It was 6 months ago and I don't have access to anything at the company anymore. You're not going to know. So your resume is not going to be strong. That's why it's really important to put a note on your calendar or something, maybe once every 3 months, something like that, to go document over the last quarter, what did you do at your job? What were the numbers? What were the metrics that you helped achieve? It's fresher in your mind and you have access to the information, because once you're not there anymore, we're all relying on memory. And that's really hard. And I've been there as well. So that's one little tidbit that can help you both in the short and the long run. And one more reason why you want to be proactive and update your resume while you're still at that company, even before you think that you need it. And people don't think about that, but those are the strongest resumes where people are you know what, let me look up that information. Let me see, what was that number, that percentage that we had last quarter? And then they can put that in their resume.
I think this kind of speaks also to what you should be doing anyway. If you want job security, you should be noting your achievements and communicating those achievements with your management, so they see that you're doing things, right? That you're meeting the objectives they've laid out for you. You're proactively talking about that to make sure you're on track. And if those objectives need to change, then you can change them now, or earlier. And the reason I bring that is because I know back in my early days, I assumed my boss knew what I was doing. And then when it came down to review, they missed probably, I'd say 50% of the actual achievements I had, because I assumed they saw me do that. But you got to remember, the boss is looking at 20, 50 people, and they're writing down and evaluating all these people, and you're just one of those 50. How do they really know what you've done? Only way they know is what they read inside that job evaluation. So it sounds like it's a kind of a twofold opportunity.
It is. Well, a lot of employers these days, with performance reviews, it's actually a self-review, which I always thought was odd, but that's a trend now. You're writing your own review. I'm like, what? But when I was still in the workforce, this is maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago, actually even more. No, it was even more than that. We started doing that. It was one company. I was like, okay, but I think that's happening more and more. So in a way, it's good, because you need to advocate for yourself. You need to know what you have done. And you're right. Your boss has how many direct reports? They're not going to see and know all of that. So I want you to have a document that you go back to, that's, call it whatever you want, career accomplishments, and just put bullet points and things that you do. And if you do get a performance evaluation, and I say if you do, because some companies, unfortunately, these days are not great about that, hang on to it. Make sure you have a copy of it, because that can be really good for resume writing and interview prep in the future as well, because sometimes that can refresh your memory about kudos and awards and different things that you got in there as well. So hang on to those.
Just like a business owner would, accolades, accomplishments, results, to talk about getting new business and business development, you have those things lined up, ready to go, to say, well, have you done this before? Can you show me results? Exact same thing. So that mindset of being a CEO of your own career, is bubbling up again.
Yeah, like a company would have a statement of capabilities or something like that, with testimonials and whatever they can do. I have things like that. I still have to do this, you guys, even though I'm a business owner. Like you said, I still have to go through a performance evaluation. It just looks different, but I still have to do all of this. Yeah.
Our customers are evaluating us, and they vote with their pocketbook, right? They're the ones that say, yes, I like you, I'll keep you employed, or I'll keep working with you and paying you money, or no. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, no, I joke with people, but that, it seems like maybe I haven't been on a job interview in a long time, but I tell people every time I do a sales call or an introductory call with somebody, which is usually 7 to 10 times a week, I'm on a job interview. I interview almost every day for my
Yes,
own
sir. Yes,
job.
ma'am. That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a great mindset that for people to adopt when they're trying to figure out how do I put myself in this position. Think of it, you're running your own company and you're like, well, I'm not in business. I don't want to be in business. You're in business for your family is another way to look